Actually, I probably will be around that speed when we hit Menlo. In a perfect world, I would be approaching 180 knots, 190 knots at Menlo. That's not on the chart. That's just, I've flown this procedure many, many times, and for me, that would be preferable. If ATC would allow it, I'd like to be between 180 and 190 at Menlo. Reaching Menlo, we'll start a descent down to 3,000 feet. See here, we're picking up this is a great example of why you wouldn't want to intercept the glide slope before the localizer. We've got terrain all around us, but we are picking up the localizer right now. Picking up the ILS, I should say. It's a bumpy ride into San Francisco today. So I will briefly, very briefly, level off here at 4,000 feet. Slow the aircraft down. 180 knots. Seppin's 10 miles out. Yeah, 180 knots sounds good. And then we'll continue the descent down to 3,000 feet. As I approach my bug up maneuvering speed here, I'll go ahead and start getting some flaps out. I do. I see it. Which one is that? Is that San Mateo or is that the Dumbarton? South America flying, huh, Store? So the localizer's armed, or the localizer's captured, I should say. I'm going to wait till we roll out on the localizer here before I select the approach mode. Then what I want you to watch when we select the approach mode here is we'll get that glide path. We'll be armed.
2,500.
And as we approach the final approach fix here, we'll select the approach mode now. You'll see that we have the glide path is now armed. San Mateo, okay, gotcha. So the glide path is now armed. We're going to fly that just like we would a localizer. Reduce to the flaps 5 maneuvering speed here. I'm going to set, with the localizer capture, we're going to set 284, which is the runway heading for the missed approach. The missed approach altitude will be 3,000 feet once we intercept the glide path. 7 miles out, gears coming down. Flaps 15. And set flaps 15 maneuvering speed. And the glide path's alive. So again, you'd never know we weren't flying an ILS right now, but it's a glide path instead of a glide slope. You'd never know it. Set. VRF +5, +4 will do it. Smallest one, Sao Paulo right on. There's the outer marker. bypass capture, set 3,000 feet for the missed approach altitude. And so the plane's flying just like it was flying an ILS, except it's not. It's just, this is a glide path instead of a glide slope. We'll disconnect it prior to reaching our decision altitude here. We're doing a parallel approach with somebody. For the landing checks now, gear down 3 green, flaps 30 green light, speed brake is armed, ignition's continuous, landing checks complete. I'm going to leave the auto flight system on all the way down until we get to the decision altitude, just as a demonstration purpose. And those of you that were watching closely will notice that we selected the approach mode as we were getting close to the final approach fix, which would be typical for integrated approach navigation. The final approach fix would be a straight shot from the final approach fix into the threshold.
1,000.
Check. I'll take the auto flight system off probably by 600 or 700 feet here. I just want to show you that you can fly it coupled all the way down to the minimums. And the auto flights come off. And the auto throttles come off.
Traffic. Approaching minimums.
Got him. And that's minimums. We'll continue.
Minimums.
That was a short middle marker.
100.
Check.
50. 30. 20. 10.
Yeah, it was pretty neat. I wish I had, I wish I had more time to look over there while we were landing.
This will indicate the embarking gate headed to safety valve. Please check around your seat for any personal belongings you may have brought on board with you. Please use caution when moving the overhead bins, as heavy articles may have shifted around during the flight.
So that was integrated approach navigation. We'll, sometime today I'll highlight that.
Entire crew.
And
Thank you for joining us on this trip. We are looking forward to seeing you on
leave it up on Twitch. Thank you there, NGX. I'm going to assume we're clear. I can't think of why not to assume we're clear. Frosty. Well, I'm going to highlight this one because we did the integrated approach navigation, so you'll notice I'm leaving my exterior lights on right now, gentlemen, until we cross the thank you guys, until we cross the active runway here on the left side. So of all the planes I've talked about that I would love to have an FSX, here's another one. I would love to have one of those guys in FSX. And so now that we're coming across the active, we can get our we'll give way to this guy. I would love to have one of these in FSX. I do enjoy turboprops. Yeah, thank you guys. Estella, that's an Embraer 120. No, I think, yeah, that's an Embraer 120. That's what United flies. And the scenery, Frosty, is Flight Beam. It's Flight Beam San Francisco. We're going to run into some AI traffic here, so I'm going to clear them. They're on the wrong taxiway. It is. The flight beam's good stuff. I like the flight beam scenery. I think it's very good stuff. A gray day here in San Francisco today. Parking brake set. Okay, menu, ground connections, ground power, air conditioning. Getting ground power is ready to take a load here, so we'll get the ground power going. We can get our fuel pumps off. The packs can come off. The electric hydraulics can come off. The packs are coming off because we don't have the APU going. And we'll get the doors open. And I don't have this parking place set up with GSX, so we'll probably get a bus out here, but we'll show you the outside anyway. Yeah, SG, I was just going to say, Dewan likes that, seems to like that plane an awful lot. Yeah, SG, it's got a fairly well modeled G1000, is my understanding. Yeah, you've got it. It's got the it's the